Okay, this is a group representing the psychology class, and that class has been an amazing class with me, Dr. Jimmy Poor. I've been teaching the class, and we have been discussing some very pertinent issues. And one of the things we talk about are issues that affect young people today in our environment, in Liberia and other places. So I have with me wonderful, wonderful students who are representing the class. This is not the entire class, but they represent the class. So they will introduce themselves, and then we'll start discussing what we're going to be discussing about. So I'll start with my brother.
I've been listening to my professor, Dr. Khan. I want to immediately extend my thanks and appreciation to him for what he has taught us. And we are assuring you that before I introduce myself, that we put into use what I have demonstrated to all by you. I'm student Eric G. Kamara.
Okay. Well, I'm student Bill Timede from the Criminal Justice Department, and then I'll go up to my colleague.
I'm J. Thomas Azariah Blamo, Criminal Justice Department.
I'm Shafina Aro Jackson from Liberal Arts Department.
My name is Shemon J. from Criminal Justice Department.
All right, so these are the students that we have at the Established Sogo University, and they just completed the psychology class. And so we want to have a short video about a very important issue that they discussed during that class. And the question was, what are the main things that are affecting young people today, especially bad habits that are affecting young people today? And this class was able to identify 3 of those habits. They identified substance abuse, they identified sexual immorality, they also identify alcohol abuse. So they are going to be talking to us about those 3 things. They will give a description of what those 3 things are. And they will also talk about the circumstances that influence, that reinforce those particular malpractices. And they will also tell us some of the substitute behavior that can minimize those things. What are some of the things that people can substitute for those things to minimize them? So let me start with the elder in the room. Let me start with Dr. Mara. You will tell us. First of all, we'll talk about substance abuse. What is it?
Substance abuse is taking wrong drugs, using wrongly drugs, or even prescribed medicine given by a doctor. People use these substances, they feel that it will help them to be high or even solve some of their problem. So those are practices that are being done by especially the youth, and they have reinforcement circumstances. For instance,
Just talk about it yet. You don't tell me why it is yet.
thank you.
Yeah. So somebody else want to add to what you have just said.
Yeah.
What is substance abuse?
Also, about substance abuse, we talk about harmful choice or illegal choice that is not good for our health. Like my colleague said earlier, maize prescription medicine, meaning medicine that you're supposed to take according to the doctor. So, and some of these medicine that harmful, that affects us today. Okay, I don't know.
So let me add up to what my colleague has said. Substance abuse is the process of taking or consuming illegal substances. Like they may mention on drugs. Sometimes it's not only drugs, we get tobacco and we get pills. So what I notice is substance abuse at times, sometimes the drugs can be legal, but the way in which the victim take the legal drugs, it makes it to be illegal. So these are things that we are seeing for which we are here. So that's my view on substance abuse.
Okay, so let me add on to what my brother said just now. Has to do with the legal aspect of the drugs. You see, some of those drugs, those guys using out there, they are all good drugs that doctor prescribe for each and every human to take. But the things that they are messing up with it, they harm their body and damage them. And also we talk about the three aspects of it. Firstly, we will be discussing the substance first, sorry, the substance before going to the positive side of it.
All right, so let me hear from Jofina. What is substance abuse? In your opinion?
So, in my opinion, I think that substance abuse could be an illegal drugs and also illegal drugs. Like, for example, this one time I carried my little sister to the clinic, and then while the nurse there was prescribing a medication for her, she and this other nurse were lecturing, and then they were saying that, well, the government of Liberia, they're trying to minimize drugs abuse in Liberia, but the administration, they are still high-headed. So she was telling her friend that they are even using painkillers, especially the pain relief, and they are overdosing themselves. There's one specific individual that took 20 pills of the painkillers, which is the pain relief. Imagine taking 20 pills of pain relief. You were asleep. When you get up, you will sleep again. You won't be normal. So yeah, from my opinion, it can be illegal drugs and also an illegal drugs, and even substances in your house. Some people can go to the extent of even smoking a level, taking it just to make themselves high.
All right, so what are some of the circumstances that reinforce substance abuse? What are some of the things that make it easy for people to get on drug, to abuse these substances? What are the circumstances that can reinforce these things?
Okay, so when we talk about the circumstances that enforce drugs
That
abuse,
reinforce.
that reinforce drugs abuse, like it has to do with the environment, the connection, the friends you go around, and how you are being tortured or how your parents advise you on it. Yes, because there are some parents before a child leaves the house, they make sure they get duties on where you going, who you going to, how long you will be there, and when you returning. But some don't care. Yeah, some parents don't care. Whatever time you come home, whatever friends they see you around, they don't know about it. They don't care. All they do is that make sure you be home. They gonna just see you do your work, and then you be around, and which of course is bad. It's totally bad. Yes.
Thank you.
Well, another reinforcement of substance abuse is the fact that what did I say? Okay. So another reinforcement of substance abuse is the fact that parents will leave their kids, like what my colleague was saying, leave their kids without knowing where they are going, who they are meeting up with. Sometimes parties like social gatherings, wedding, clubbing, going out with friends, birthday parties. These are where children get initiated in stuff like this. And another major reinforcement of substance abuse is having a family member who has the history of drinking. Like if you're a kid, maybe you're a young boy and you have your grandfather or your dad who's in the habit of usually sending you to buy alcohol for him. You start doing it. There will be a day that maybe you want to try that alcohol and you will try it on your own and it will become a habit. So that's one of the major reinforcement of substance abuse.
Sure.
Just to add off, another one that I want to talk about is commercializing these substances in our various community that have been practiced even in our domain. Right in Liberia here, we can see for ourselves people selling these drugs all in the community. That alone motivate the youth to be involved. And they peer grouping. You go into people that are already associated to these bad practices. That alone is helping our brothers and sisters to be involved into this thing that causing a lot of problems for our government and the country as a whole.
In addition, we get like the economic constraint. When you look at the economic system, if there are no job opportunity for the young people, you will see some of them into that kind of act because there is no job. So the only thing the young people feel that they can do is to get themselves intoxicated and to forget about the circumstances within the country. Since they cannot handle it, all the thing they can do is to just misuse themselves, get high, and forget about whatsoever that's circulating. Another thing is insecurity. If you look at the exportation of drugs or the importation of drugs in Liberia, Liberia don't have that kind of tight security system. So you will know someone coming with a huge quantity of substance, they will abuse our security. Like this is $5, this is 200-300. Imagine a security man giving access to substance into the country for little of nothing. So I think the country too play a significant role if we got a touch security wherein the government they are certifying the citizen and that security, substance abuse won't be reinforced. So that's it.
And another one is peer pressure. The friends will go away, the friends will go away. Like one of my colleagues were saying that our parents need to be tight on us, the friends we follow. But for example, my parents is very hard to deal with or how to handle, and then I got a friends who is into illegal business. My friends will know that yes, if I go to the girl house or the boy house like this, he or she parent will notice that person may behave normal like working clothes and then get a sustenance in his or her bag. Go to my place and then my parent will feel happy and then leave us home, walk away, and I will get access to that sustenance. So peer pressure is one of the bad influence in such matters.
Good, good.
I
Yeah.
wanted to say something.
Yeah.
And another excuse that drug users, right, normally give is that it helps them to take away their stress, which I think is an act of being delusional. Because once the substance wears out of your body, you will come back and you'll still be your stress or whatever challenge you're faced with.
Probably gonna be worse.
Yeah, it will even be worse.
Yes, yeah, and some of them can say that when you take in those substances, you can think ahead. Like one of my cousin who is now stone crazy, like I called Jeff yesterday, that he's stone crazy in Sano County. Normally, when you take those substances, you can be like, oh, I'm in Asia, I'm on the apple farm, I'm picking apple, I'm putting it in the bag. You know, he behave differently. So.
Yeah.
And it's something that can also be inherited. Sometimes friends don't spoil friends. Like sometimes we're not watch movie to see people into the act, but surprisingly you will see the person doing it. So if you choose to ask what is it you are abusing yourself with substances, he might look into your face and say, I don't know, but I see myself doing it. So when you do the trace, you know that some of them inherit such habit. Like maybe my father is a drug addict, or my mother used to smoke. So it's possible for such habit to pass on to me. So some of them inherit some of these habits that make them to abuse themselves.
Yeah, you inherit those habits, but
And
it
to
will
just
make
buttress my colleagues also, this thing happen even to the working places. For example, I worked with the Liberia Marketing Association before. I can remember at the time I was a Muslim man. I just do away with the drinking, but when I used to be among my friends, they take me to be, I feel inferior because they feel so pompous and they prioritize themselves first. When they may take in the sustenance, he just feel he is the only among all. He feels so proud,
Getting
and
charged.
if you are not taking it, you are among them. If you don't even take time, they might harm you. When they take in those sustenance, anything tells them they are not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
They feel so proud of themselves. Those are some of the things that lead to the reinforcement substance.
All right. So we would treat alcohol in this sense as another substance, right?
Yes.
So we don't want to treat it differently. So what are some of the things that they can substitute? What are some of the substitute behavior that can minimize the use of substance?
Yeah, in minimizing the circumstances that reinforce substance abuse is to desocialize. That's one. If you are in a friendship wherein all of your friends they are substance abuser, in order for you to leave the act, you must desocialize. Quit the friendship because they are no benefit to you. They say birds with the same feather flies together. So if you are in that kind of companion, you will always be into that act. So the only way you think you can live to substitute that act is to desocialize. The next one is you should be a religious belief person. If you are a Christian or a Muslim, I think it will be good get closer to your belief because by going to church or whatever you think you can go to, either hearing from your pastors can help you to be able to position yourself to put stop to some of these living.
Yes, I strongly believe that we the parents have serious part to play. One, I talk about parental care. guardians support to your children. If the support is given, that alone can motivate the youth not to be involved into these practices. But it's because of no support from some parents, they just they don't care to their children. It's also causing serious problem. Then also we talk about if you want to do away with this substance abuse or whatsoever that is positive substitute, then we have to talk about going along with friends that are not involved into these bad practices. For instance, they have organizations that preach, do awareness about such sexual abuse. You join them, they will be able to counsel you. Also, you need a mentor, counseling mentor. That is, you go to a counselor. There are counselors all around that they will have to counsel you also to avoid this. So these are all important things, positive strategy that if you practice it, you will do away with this society.
Yeah.
So if you live in an environment where you have easy access to drug abuse, to drugs or substances that are bad, you can substitute that for creating your own safe space. Because not everyone have the ability or they find nice to travel to another community where you don't have easy access to drugs. So if you are living in that type of, if you have that type of lifestyle, you can create your own safe space where you invite people who are thinking ahead, who are not associated with things like that, and they will be able to influence you. Though you are living in a bad environment, but you are not being influenced by the bad things that are happening around you.
So one of the key promotion again is the rehabilitation center. If you observe in Labrador, we sometimes complain that the substance abusers, they are too much, the young people, they are abusing themselves. But again, we look at some circumstances that there is no help even to these people, because if you want to get the man off the street, if you want to get the man out of the heart, you should be able to rehabilitate him. So, and in rehabilitating him, it's not just a 3-bedroom house that you're going to get into and then say you should leave the substance by all costs. Be able to transform him, because if he coming from over there, he coming as a new individual. So he needs something to live by. So while being in the rehabilitation center, introducing to some skills like plumbing, computer, some necessary things that if he leave from there, he will not be able to go back. But this time around, his life has been transformed, and in a positive manner, he can do something to be able to achieve more. So I think that's another means of promoting some positive services, rehabilitation center.
Okay. Let me ask you this question: what role does our faith in Christ play in this whole thing? How does it help?
Yeah.
Well, as believers, as believers, we're asked to be the light of the world. That means when we're in environments where there is darkness, we should shine brighter. So we should have this ability in us to be able to influence those that are in the world, not to live a life contrary to Christ. So if I'm a Christian and I have this person in my class who is, taking drugs or who is drinking alcohol, and I notice that, I should go around the person not to condemn them, but rather to present Christ to them, and they should see themselves in Christ. What Christ can do for them, what He did on the cross, how that He loved them, how that He wants them to come to Him. All of that. And I believe by that the person life can be transformed.
Okay. Anybody else? Want to speak to that?
Yeah. One of the positive attitude that is important, like what the question our professor asked is very significant to our study, is the name the church, which is Christ. I think, especially in our country, if you use the church, there will be a lot of transformation from bad behavior to good. Okay? Because many Liberians are Christian. They are Christian. And the pastors and those that work in the church, they have all opportunity to change our people. Preaching in the church against those bad behaviors will make many youth to change. Yeah, evangelism. While in the street, you also let them know, not only in the church building, but even outside. That is another important thing. The pastors and the church as a whole can make people to change from this bad behavior, because they have all capacity to preach, and we listen to them. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Yes.
And just to add up, I think that in preaching the gospel should be presented to that point for sure. Because with that state of being, the state of the age, they don't have the ability to change themselves. Because some of them, it can be from, let's just say, because of the limited use, because of the fall, right? Because of the fall, all of these things creep into humanity. So I believe that if the gospel is presented to such individual, right? And he or she believes in it and accept Christ as their own personal savior, though you will not see change automatically, but eventually the person will leave happy like that.
Thank you. So, okay, the last one we want to talk about is what you identify, right? You identify that last thing that affects young people. You call it sexual immorality, right? Is it true that it's something that affects young people today?
Yes,
of course.
What is sexual immorality? I want to hear that from. What is your definition of sexual immorality?
Yes, sexual immorality is engaging into immoral or irresponsible sexual activities that have been practiced globally, not only Liberia but all over the world. The prostitution life is all over and it's affecting our youth. So it's about doing things illegal, not marrying, doing sex without boundary.
So
Yeah.
it also involves the act of fornicating, idolatry, casual sex, like what our young guys or young friends don't normally say. They say to casual sex. We're not lover, we are just, coping with each other, or friends with benefits. Yeah, these are all sexual immoral stuff.
Right.
They also violate personal value, like sexual immorality. Maybe I see a girl that I cannot hold myself on, and anytime I see her, I always feel that kind of feeling, that kind of heart always coming to me. So the next thing I want to do is to do it by force. Maybe someone who is not giving me that chance. That time I always bring her around and she say, no, you can't do that. This is how it is. But I don't want to follow the legal process. The way I want to force myself into it, it brings disrespect. You lost value, you lost prestige because the world going to see you as a rapist. And when the world point at you as a rapist, it's very hard for you to clear that kind of stigma. So for you not to be bullied by people, not to walk embarrassing in the public, avoid the act. Yeah, that's one.
So
thing.
let's be specific here. What are some of the examples of what we call sexual immorality? I just want to get some examples. What if they were to say what are the examples of sexual immorality? What would you say? What example will you be pointing to? This is sexual immorality. This is sexual immorality. This is sexual immorality.
Yeah, some sexual immorality from my stand, like one of the pornography aspect.
Pornography.
Yeah, pornography aspect. If you have a child, and everyone want a child to get adopted to modernization. So but then we now have phone. Our people used to go on campus, talk to our tutors, our lecturers before they pass on what they want to pass on to us. But now everyone get access to phone. So we don't want to be like third party, tell my son say. So instead of us doing that, we give phones to our children. So you cannot restrict some of the pornography that comes on the platforms. So seeing some of these platforms, it motivates people. These are all sexual immorality because if you got a child that is not thinking on a sexual activity, but from the pornography, like in the case of me, I always use myself as an example. I never watched any movie that get men carry on that kind of sexual romance with a woman. And I didn't see it physically, but I was able to adapt that feeling from a pornography or this, where in our normal scene we were real airport stuff. So while going to school, I found such a bag along the road. I took it and hid it in my copybook. So when I went to class, and I called some of my colleagues, oh, I found something that's very funny. And so we were displaying in the back of the school, start to look at it. So the next thing we got addicted to was masturbation. Because you will not see the woman at that time for you of your age to make fun with. So you always want to try on yourself, start to masturbate on yourself, get that experience before going to practice it legally with a girl, or should I say illegal?
Illegal.
Yeah, illegally with a girl. So these are some of the things that when you see, you recognize sexual immorality. Another thing is the dress code, immoral dress code. Yeah, that's another thing of sexual immorality. A girl in a community always flashing her breast or bums, wearing clothes that get the attention of young men. We might eventually fall into so that's
Right.
another
So
thing.
the dress itself is not the immoral act, right?
Yeah.
It might be the cause of it.
Yeah.
Play a major role too.
But you also have a responsibility because that girl is passing by many other people.
Yeah, but they
They are not doing
tempted.
anything to her. So if you do anything to her, you take personal responsibility.
Then I want to also talk about commercial prostitution, which is registered all over, for example, or in the Republic of Ghana, and have even been legalized. You go to hotels, and motels. If you want to sex, you go there, you pay your money, and that one, yeah, they get short term, they get long term. All this encourage this sexual immorality. It should be banning. In some countries, like Sierra Leone, when there, even if you dress like one of police story about immorality, and saw police people in the street beating on cars so that they can go and dress better. At the time, I didn't know about now because of this human rights, but things are going the wrong way.
So what about this thing that we call we are loving?
We're
We
loving.
are not married, we are just loving.
Comparing those,
Is that part, is it included in the category of sexual immorality? Let's talk this thing.
For master,
Yeah.
I would say it's inclusive because we are discussing the illegality.
Right.
But the fact that it is not legal, there's nowhere in the world you want to love it. Here in the Bible, don't want to love it. So for the fact that you are in that act, it is illegal. And one, it is illegal, it forms part of sexual immorality because it gets a lot of challenges that promote sexual immorality. So it forms part of sexual immorality.
And one thing pertinent to the sexual immorality, one thing that is trending right now is the idea of having multiple partners.
Okay.
First, it was only maybe I'm a girl, I have 3, 4, 5 boyfriends. But right now, those 3, 4, 5 boyfriends can agree for us to be together in a bed when we do what we want to do. Yeah, they have term for it. Even in movies, you can see it. They are producing movies like that where you can see 3 songs, 4 songs, all of that is a trend. And people are buying those ideas. Or maybe a husband and a wife. The wife feel that the husband, cannot satisfy sexually and the man wants to keep his wife. He can go and call another person and then they will do what they want to do there. That sounds very interesting.
So the world is going very far.
Oh, yeah.
Very far. All right. So okay. Then the next question is, what are the substitutes? What can we substitute? What are good behavior that we can substitute for sexual immorality?
Yes, one of the positive.
I'm really talking about behavior that can help people to overcome. To overcome sexual immorality, because it's not a good behavior, right? All right. So what are the positive substitutes for sexual immorality that can make people to get away from it and start living the way God wants them to?
Yeah, for me, from my background, I want to recommend for it to be passed by law. Let it be legalized. That if you do this, you are involved into sexual morality, there should be punishment. People should not go with impunity like what is happening in our country and in other countries. That one there. Then the second thing I want to talk about is the sin sex.
Okay, let me hold you there. I'm really talking about this person is into sexual immorality. This person is having this moral problem. What behavior do they need to substitute for that sexual behavior that is positive and help them to be out of it?
Yeah, okay. I understand your question, sir. One is counseling.
Okay.
Counseling. That is the place a good counselor work to change the individual. If you counsel he and her, I believe that the behavior will change. You have to tell them the important, the disadvantage, how this sexual immorality will expose you to sicknesses, diseases, even to AIDS. That alone will put out fear in that individual and they will be encouraged to live. Then another thing is employment. Someone is involved into this kind of thing. If you want them to avoid it, one of the things you do, sometimes you take them after the counseling when they are going through their how do you call it training, whatsoever, vocational training, whatsoever. You get them job. If they are at work, you will not think about some of these things. But you know, just sitting down, just passing on the whole day talking is involving the youth into all kind of things, including the sexual immorality.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
You build,
So
then
let
we'll
me
come.
add up to what Mr. Kamara said. So on the positive side of it, we got, from my observation, I see we got three aspects was it. One we say the mindset, the counseling, and the help of more.
Yeah.
Yes. Because once you made up your mind not to do this after the counseling process, and you say no, I won't do it, even if they surround you with a group of friends who have link with that aspect, trust me, you'll not do it. Once you made up your mind to do it, and you also need a good counselor or somebody who want to counsel you and guide you on the rightful path, and then with the help of God too. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so pertaining to the, being exposed to pornography, I think you can substitute that with being exposed to positive and godly content. Though we don't restrict what come on our Facebook, but I think that these apps that we are using is all what we are engaging with more often is what they often bring to us when we put our data on. So instead of looking for naked pictures, videos pertaining to that stuff, you can look for educative stuff, Christian lifestyle, all those other positive, contents that promotes godliness, that promotes education, other stuff like that. Your desire for sex will be less because you are not seeing it in front of you for your desire to increase, for you to go after a woman or for you to go after a man. So I think you should, switch your mindset from watching porns, from watching naked, videos, nuded videos, to different things, complete things, educative stuff.
Mindset.
Good.
Yeah.
And another thing is using the victims to be able to encourage the public and win souls over.
Survivors or victims?
Yeah, if yes, observer.
Yeah.
If I'm into the act, if your sexual immorality, and then I realize that it's something that not welcoming in the society, we shouldn't have been doing that like the young people into such act. What would be good is if I pass through the counseling and then I realize that it is good to hold yourself, to follow necessary procedures and wait for the right time to do what you've been into. You should use that person to go on some necessary platforms, encouraging the public. I used to be into this, but I passed through this and I realized that it is the best things to do. So some of my colleagues are outside there, I'm encouraging you, avoid this. Come through the path, pass through this way. Let us promote this. That people will be impressed seeing a prostitute once upon a time coming to a right man or senses, telling the public that what she been into it was condemned, was bad, and then encouraging you to follow the legal process. It will motivate people.
Okay.
This is fine.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, I should come in too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so pertaining to the loving aspect, where maybe you're a girl and you have a boyfriend, and then you guys are into sexual relationships, I think that you should have a talk with your partner. If you are already involved with that and you want to be on the right path, you should have a talk with your partner that you guys should hold on until the right time, until marriage. And if you're someone who has not been into sexual activity before, you should wait and meet a partner. You should wait and meet a partner who is also ready like you for marriage before sex. So like that, it will help you. Because if you meet someone who says, like, we're already loving, we're already dating, you're paranoid, but you're paranoid, and so let's just have fun time. No, it's still immoral.
Right.
The parent also should help in the process, because sometimes our parents watch movies that is not encouraging for the young people. Before, when our people watching a movie that hearing kissing, they will say, get outside, close your eyes, let's go. But nowadays we are seeing more young people watching a Filipino movie that is 99.9% romantic. It's all about love. So you will not see the parents saying, get out, go and watch a movie, go and watch cartoon. They will all sit down and watch it, so the children can develop that feeling.
Yeah.
They want to portray what they are seeing.
Yeah.
So in order to put stop to the such act is restrict your children, watch this. It will be good, look at this. Whenever you see me watching this movie, stay far. Don't come around. That you will promote that.
You were talking.
Okay. Another way forward is to surround yourself with good friends. I mean, God-fearing people, because nowadays the friends we find are more influence on us. Like when I was in high school, I was surrounded by so many girls, and I can remember at that time they were sending people out for school fees, and then one of my friend, my very close friend that I used to confide in, she came to me and said, "But Jamo, I got one of my uncle who can help people." But she didn't tell me that they may pay. You have sex with this man and then he will give you money. She didn't tell me that. But she said that. And that's someone who really saw a fool in school who used to carry money, bad things for us. So I said, fine, I'm going to introduce the uncle to me. Most of the girls knew about this uncle, but I was down to that level. So I said, fine, I want to see this uncle. So she said, okay, I will not carry you, but I will give you his number and then you'll meet his so please. I said, fine, no problem. So, talk the number to SMS and then I call you. Now, the radio guy was a Nigerian guy, yeah. And I call him and say, can we meet so and so please? And then we went there and then he asked me, because they always tell me more about yourself. Why you then through your life, everything. I explained to him and said, okay, this is this. Let's say I can handle this issue or this problem in seconds, but I want you to follow my instruction. So I still get no problems in second. Wait. Like Jofina was talking earlier, like nowadays, 2 sons, 3 sons, 4 sons. So in less than an hour, 3 girls came to him and then said, okay, you follow me, including me plus 4 went there. But when we sat down to a hotel right to Jamaica Road, but still I was not still getting the concept that this male want to have sex because I was down to the whole level. So when I went there, but in the living room, in the hotel like this sitting there, started. Yes, so I was like, and he said, "You are not a child, you are not a child. They didn't tell you what you come here for." I said, "Oh God, no, I'm not the uncle. So you have to do so thing." And then he said, but he told me that I'm not the boss here. I got my boss who will sleep with everyone that you here. So I'm not the boss here. So I said, no, I can't do such. No, I'm not saying no. You have to do it because you need help. He said, you think that the money or the things that nowadays, some of the girls, the clothes they wearing, they spray, they hair, do you think that free? We have sex with them in the hours and don't give them money.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're willing to do it, I said, no, I can't do it. He said, you have to do it. I said, no, I can't do it. So we were talking a little on here. Her boss making, what saved me that day? Her boss making, said that when he looked at me and looked at other girls, he said that I only want to have sex with the girl. So I was like, well, he said, this particular individual has something in her, I want to have sex with her. And I promise, even if for 15 minutes sex or 10 minutes sex, I will give her anything she wants in this world. I just only her. So the rest of the girls can have them. But only the particular girl saying that. So right there, I knew that something was different. I said, no, I can't do it. So that I left. So sometimes the friends before the people we get close to, they are one of the bad influence on us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, then I want to talk about the church involvement into the whole process when it comes to sexual immorality. Because in our setting in Liberia, we observe that many women attend church than men. And you cannot have sex with a woman. So I believe if the awareness and the education is given in the church, there will be change of behavior. Because if the woman is told, or she will be preached to, that sex is not good like what other churches are doing, I think you will see the difference. So I want the involvement of the church. I believe the church is involved, and God is also involved into it. God first. Because if the church is involved, they will pray upon it. And when they pray upon it, I believe God will not answer to limit or to reduce the sexual immorality in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much. We want to now talk to somebody out there. What advice do you have for the young people out there who are abusing substances? What advice do you have for the young ladies and young men out there who are into sexual immorality, do not have any moral when it comes to sex? What would be your advice for them? Let me start with this elder, and then I will end with the young ladies. Let's be brief about it because
I want to encourage our children, brothers and sisters out there, to avoid this sexual immorality. It exposes them to so many things. First, if you are in the street, you expect to get sick anytime. For me, I have seen some AIDS patients. One of them was renting to my place. I even went with her. Yeah, because those are things, it's confidential, but I'm just talking about it because this thing happened. If you are going out there, you expect all these disadvantages, behaviors, or attitude towards you. So want to advise them to leave the street. Listen to your parents. They born you, you need to benefit them. And how do we benefit them? You have to go to school. Even if you not go to academic school, you can do vocational learning and training and other things, skill, so that you will be able to be self-empowered. We believe in self-reliance. And if you do that, it will help you. But being in the street will not help you. So I want to encourage you. We are pleading to you to leave the street. Please, our brothers and sisters, the youth in the street. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, so to conclude, on the aspect of sexual immorality, I would like to say, from my point of view, to advise my brothers and sisters out there to listen to your parents, take in the right advice, don't follow the wrong friends, forget about enjoyment outside there. You haven't seen anything yet, you stay at a younger age. There are great things ahead of you. Once you get prepared and then you stay home and focus, you will meet more great things ahead of you. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thomas?
so I will advise you to build a constructive jealousy, because when you build a constructive jealousy, you'll be motivated to do great things. Like you see someone in your community or someone that you're being in school together and the person life is way better than your life. Put yourself in a rational thinking, sit down and build a constructive jealousy. Say, if that man can be this, if that girl can be this, myself, I can do the same. That's another, motivation that you motivate yourself, and you, by the help of God, you eventually achieve what you want to achieve. The next thing is, you should be able to recognize astute and responsible public figure, making he or she with a role model. If you got a role model in life, things will move on smoothly. Like you're looking at someone who is bold, who stand on the principle, who avoid all of these things, and you see the life of that person, make that person with a role model. I want to be this person. I want to be more than this person. If you build that thinking with the help of God, you can pursue and life will transform. So stay tuned.
All right, Jovina.
Okay, so on the issue of substance abuse, I want to advise my brothers and sisters out there that they should leave such a habit. It doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you cool. Instead, it destroys you. It makes you stupid. Actually, sorry for the word, but it actually makes you stupid. Because at the end of the day, why are you taking something that will lead you down the road, that will lead you, to becoming somebody useless to society? Instead, you should be doing something that will make you useful to society. So it's not something cool. It's not something when you take it, you say, oh, I'm just fighting me. It's just for vibe. It's just for pleasure. No. You should have self-esteem. You should be able to control yourself. You should be able to control your appetite. Because some of them can say, oh, it's my appetite. It's why it's calling for, I want to take this. I want to drink. I want to drink this at this moment. You should be able to control all of that. On the issue of sexual immorality, if you are a young girl and you are dating multiple partners, cut it off, girl. Because trust me, guys can meet and they can discuss, and your name will spread. But seriously, they can meet and they can discuss. Oh, that blah 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 and blah. But I've been there. Oh, you too, but they your whole need take over the whole community. So cut it off. Have one partner. A guy that you trust, someone who is willing to listen, someone who is able to listen to you, advise you, and is ready to wait. Not to have a hand is ready to wait, because it's possible. It's possible to have a partner who's not ready to wait, and you guys are still into sexual immorality. You guys are still having sex rather. It's not normal. It's not right. It's not a right thing to do. So have a partner who is ready to wait when the right time reaches. You guys get married. You can have fun. You can have all the fun in the way I want to. You can do that too. But just wait. That's my advice.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay. One of our colleagues were talking about role model. Yes, a role model plays a very, very, very important role in our lives. Like I normally say, when I started HU, I saw Tadoko as my role model, and I used to double anchor someone like Slick.
pofo. You know, do something different, like wear something that is short. But then I see the kind of person he is, the kind of man he is, the kind of father he is. I was like, they may not need to tell me to stop this. I decided to insist. That time I have never put in an anchor chains on my legs. Yeah. And another thing here is that when you got a boyfriend, if he really wants you, tell him like this. Because that one thing with the young girls, you know that there is no end to financial needs. Every time we see something, we want it. Every time we see something, we want it. If we get something today, the next day, another one we see will be more than today, and we want it too. So we have to live according to our status.
Sure.
We fund ourselves, what we can afford. And so it's an important thing. You know, when I tell people, when I tell my friends that, do you know how many years I don't have sex for? They can say, you're a virgin. No, I'm not a virgin. I'm not a virgin, but because I know this now right end. There is something, right? Like, if I want to have sex for money, like, I want something today and then I go have sex. I get it. And the other day I will see something else that I want. So many, I will continue to have sex as long as I'm careful for something like to finance it. Like, I want something. So if somebody really, really want you and they love you, they don't have to have sex with you to help you. They will help you willingly. So stay away from sex when you're not married. Stay away from drugs. You know, it damages your health. How will you feel when your friends are very healthy? Their lips are all clean and your teeth, everything, your mouth, rotting your lip, like you still calling you Soko. No, you are not Soko because you choose this life. That's the reason people are calling you Soko or Sokis. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So let's do the quick reintroduction. Let people know the people who have been talking. And this is
Mr. Eric G. Kamara.
and then what are you
student from
studying?
I'm studying International Relations and Peace
Good.
at HEU.
So I'm Bill F. Timothy Jr. from the Liberal Arts Department. Basically, I'm studying criminal justice.
You know, I always attach my tattoo counselor. But today I'm not going to say. I'm J. Thomas Azar Namo. I'm doing criminal justice major, international relations and peace ceremony.
Okay, so I'm Jofina Aro Jackson. I'm studying social work as major and international relations as minor, both from Liberal Arts Department.
My name is Shema Zekasula. I'm studying criminal justice at Sorbonne School at one of the prestigious universities like the
Wow. So you're encouraging people to come AG, right?
So are you encourage people to come to AGU?
Yes.
Is AGU one of the best in Liberia? Thank you very much. God bless you and I'll see you next time.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.